So we're out at a fundraiser for one of the favorite cycling destinations around here, Jamestown, with Rob Andrews and Russ Chandler. Who came up with the idea for this fundraiser?
Well, we mutually originally came up with it together. Russ and I were talking about what could we do to help with the flooding problem that happened and how could we contribute back. And we have a group called Wednesday Morning Velo, a group of guys and ladies that meet every Wednesday morning during the summer. It's about 280, 300 strong now. It's a big group. And we said, this is a good group. We should see if they'll do a fundraiser. Sent something out, and it went viral from there. And people jumped out of the woodwork to try and help out with ideas and said, we could do this or that or the other. And it just grew from there. So am I saying it right?
Absolutely, yeah. What happened really was we were talking after one of our last rides, I think the last one in September, and people were kind of whining, saying, hey, we can't ride to Jamestown anymore. And I'm thinking, you're whining about not riding to Jamestown? These people cannot get in their house. They do not have water. They don't have roads, and they had to get helicoptered out. And then it kind of occurred to us that, we're a fairly affluent community, the cycling community here in Boulder. And I think given that there's been tension over the years between the mountain towns and cyclists, having to share the road and not always friendly to each other, that this would be a great opportunity to reach out, pull the communities together, and just have a great big group hug for the people at Jamestown who have always reached out to cyclists, and cyclists have always loved to go up there as their favorite destination in the mountains. So that's what this is all about.
Now, have you coordinated with them at all on this? Do we have some people from Jamestown here?
We do. We have quite a few people from Jamestown. They actually have a booth here, and they're showing the video. There was a very professional video done on the impact of the flood on Jamestown residents, and so that's being shown here. And then we have a group coming. So there was a death in Jamestown. Joey, who used to run the Mercantile up there, is a very popular character in Boulder County and particularly in Jamestown. And Joey was killed in a landslide as a result of the flood. And so there's a ceremony for Joey right now going on over at the Greenbrier. And so those folks will be coming here right after that ceremony. We'll have several of them actually speaking at the event here in about an hour.
What's kind of been your take on the community's look on cyclists right now? Everywhere you go, by the mountains, there are signs that say no bicycles, residents only, no bicycles. And I live up on Old Stage, and I have permission from the sheriff to ride, but still get yelled and honked at, even though I'm a local.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've been trying to get word out to everybody that doesn't need to be there, that doesn't have a right to be there, to respect the fact that these roads are closed, that there's essential emergency activities going on. I'm sure they probably can't tell the difference if you're dressed as a cyclist. They probably don't know you're a local, but I think the word most people that I know are respecting it. When we go on rides and we see a roadblock, we'll ask questions to the person at the roadblock. But we've been trying to be very instrumental in getting the word out to the whole community to stay off those roads until the people are ready to have us back on those roads.
And one thing we also want to help get the word out is to get the athletes back to Boulder. The big floods through here, a lot of the triathletes who normally would be training pre-Kona left because Boulder wasn't the great place to train. Think back to spring break when a lot of the pros were here before Tour of the Gila. We had all the snow, so people were leaving Boulder. How do we get them back?
That's a good question. Well, a lot of the local pros actually got engaged in this program with us today. We had a group ride this morning, and 6 or 7 local pros showed up and took a group of about 100 riders off on a ride, all who donated about $20 a person for Jamestown. So the pros are still here. This is still hometown for many of them, and I don't think they're going to leave. I think there is this sense that hopefully the town is going to get built, the roads are going to get rebuilt as fast as possible because they use that as their training ground for climbing, and training on climbing routes.
What's been the reaction from the community of Jamestown when you approached them with this idea? Obviously they have a booth here. Was it a little standoffish at first, or did they embrace the idea right away?
Well, that's funny you ask, because we originally approached the mayor, Tara Schodinger, who is going to be here. We spoke this week, but at first it was very hard to reach her because she was dealing with some pretty serious immediate needs to deal with the emergency. But since then, we connected up with the Rebuild Jamestown Fund, which is headed up by some folks here, Jonathan Barch and Angela Wilcott, and they have plugged us in very well directly with the Jamestown folks. They're here. Jonathan himself is a cyclist, so we've been able to kind of find common ground between the groups. And now Jamestown folks are going to come by here in about an hour, say a few words, and then we're going to try to do a great live auction with lots of great things like a USA Pro Cycling Challenge, a VIP trip, and a Singali tour trip to Italy from Andy Hampston's tour group, as well as a paddle raiser fundraiser specifically earmarked for the Merc to reopen so that the people of Jamestown and the Merc owners themselves can stay in business while they rebuild their town and open up as soon as possible for us. Yeah, there's definitely follow-up. The folks here at Hapa Sushi are going to host a fundraiser on November 4th, Monday, November 4th. People are invited to go on their website and sign up, and we're hoping to attract some folks from Jamestown as well as cycling celebrity types as well to that. And there will be ongoing efforts for sure. I think this is just the beginning of a real groundswell of activity that can happen from here.